right, well, it's time we tackle some more maintenance on the Envista behind me. We just hit 40,000 miles on this 2024 Buick Envista. It's been a good little car, and as we hit more milestones with maintenance, I'll be filming the process. So let's roll the intro, we'll go to the bench, I'll show you what you're gonna need, not very involved, and I'll very slowly walk you through the process. It shouldn't be too bad. Let's get into it. All right, a few items you're gonna need. First things first, in a Buick Envista, you're gonna need your wheel lock. This little guy, don't forget about this. In our car, it was in the glove compartment, just hanging out. You're gonna need that. Secondly is the brake pads themselves. I like ceramic, and the only ones I had at the local store were ceramic. They should come with new brackets, and they do, outstanding. All these have those little wishbone things. Oh, I hate these, but we'll get to there when we get to there. And then lastly, 4 separate pads. There probably will be a difference inside and outside, but we'll reference that when we take the other ones off the car. Brake lubricants, always do a brake job using brake lubricants, and I'll show you where this goes. A caliper compression tool. Very handy, this costs about $10 at your local auto parts store, long story short. Once you get your old brake pads out, you got to compress or put the caliper piston back in its housing. And to do that, you just use this with one of the old brake pads. And you're going to need some basic mechanical tools, such as that. And you're going to need a jack, of course, a jack stand, and a lug wrench, of course. So what I'm going to do, I'll do this wheel myself real quick to get my bearings. It shouldn't be too bad. I've never done a brake job on a Buick before. I've probably done 100 brake jobs, but there's always a little learning curve whenever you do a new type of vehicle or car. So I'll knock this one out, and I'll walk you through the passenger side step by step. All right, driver's side's done. I'm not being funny, just going at it took about 15 minutes, not too bad at all. Surprisingly, with 40,000 miles, these brake pads are not even halfway through. The reason why I'm replacing, because most brake pads you get 40 or 50,000 miles out of them. And they were feeling a little lazy. I was like, yeah, it's time, I guess. But honestly, they were good for another like 30,000 miles, but super easy to do. I'm not just saying this, almost anyone can do this job. It's not hard. So I'm gonna walk you through how to get the car up in the air. Like I said, I'm using a jack and a jack stand. Always use 2 points of contact. I'm jacking the car. I'll show you where I jack up mine just to add. It's pretty easy to do on this car. This little nub right here in the frame, I use this for my jack, and I always put my jack stand underneath the suspension right here. My 2 points right there. That's all I'm doing. So before I get the car up off the ground, what you always want to do, unless you have an impact wrench, is loosen your lugs. Because once your car is off the ground, the wheel's going to spin. So in this order, I'm going to loosen, raise the car, place the jack stand, then take the rest of the bolts off, take the wheel off. All right, so I'm going to do it, and I'll show you exactly what I did. All right, here's how we're looking. So we got our jack, second point of contact. Here is our caliper bracket. We're only taking 2 bolts off. Your slide pin bolts for your caliper. One right here, 14 millimeter, and one right here, 14 millimeter. The other side that came right off without using a second wrench. Sometimes they slide right here or right in here, but it didn't. It just came right off, which is nice. All right, take our 14 millimeter. It might seem kind of crude. And a hammer of all things. Yes, a hammer. Kind of works like an impact wrench. They're not on there very tight. I can't find an exact torque spec for the Envista, it's so new. But ballpark similar vehicles, 30 foot-pounds. So that's what we're gonna go with, putting it back on. If you don't have a torque wrench, you should be okay. But I recommend getting one. Cool. This ain't too close. That's all right. All right. Both those bolts are moved. Move me a little bit. Okay. This is gonna slide right off. Everything's still brand new and shiny. Never want to let these guys hang. If your knuckle allows it, you can send them up here, and this one does. We're not doing crazy surgery, so that'll be okay. All right, next thing we gotta do is these two little clips right there. Super simple, take a picture when you're doing this so you don't mess it up, but collapse them on each other. It comes right out. Now, the little hardware bag comes with new ones. I've got some cars, especially a Ford truck, man. These things, they're a little different in design, it's a total nightmare. But this car's pretty easy. And now these just come out. There is a front, there's an inboard and outboard, I should say. The outboard doesn't have a little squealer, or I guess they call it a little tab that hits your rotor. That tells it when it's time to change it. Cool. That guy right there, if you can see it. Once it gets worn enough, this hits the rotor and it makes a terrible noise. This all looks brand new and clean in here, man. I feel like I don't even change the brackets, but I will. I don't have brake clean. I don't know how I forgot that. Typically at this point, I would smother some brake clean, but it's so clean, I think we're gonna be okay. So I'm gonna take these little guys out real quick. Super simple. I don't want to clean right out. There we go. I'm doing this all real time, guys. At this point, I'm gonna put a little bit of brake grease in there. Believe it or not, when you hear squealing 90% of the time from your brakes, it's not the actual pad touching the rotor. It's from metal vibrating inside the brackets or wherever metal meets metal. That high frequency noise back and forth, that's the brake squeal you hear. So you use brake lubricant to put on all the wear areas where metal touches metal. That makes sense. I put it how the brackets go. And I'll put it on the sides of the calipers as well. Cool. Easy. And again, one thing I'm missing is brake clean to do this job, but it's okay. This isn't a performance car, and it's still pretty new. All right, I'm gonna take my new brake pads. It's really hard to mess up putting them in. Like I said, once a little tab goes inboard. Where all the spots where metal touches metal, I'm gonna put a little dab of grease on there. I know it seems silly, but it helps a lot, trust me. Even on the back of the pad where the piston hits. Well, I guess on the outboard it doesn't hit it, but you know what I mean, where the caliper will get it. Cool. That one's already done. And they sell this stuff when you're checking out at auto parts stores. It's right in the front. Right in the front. Overkill, just enough. And it does not go on the pad itself. Do not put on the pad. I've seen people do that. Question my sanity. All right, guys, we're almost done. We're almost on the project. The last thing is little retaining clips. They're kind of goofy, but whatever. It says to use them, so we're gonna use them. There's a little house form. You can't really miss it. And guess what, guys? We're pretty much done. Honestly. We gotta smush this guy back real quick. Otherwise, we'll be fighting this thing and trying to put it back on. This is that little tool I was talking about. And he's put it inside of here. Clamp it down, it smushes the piston back into the housing. Okay. Just like that. And you'll see it, just go slow, not a race. You'll see it slowly go back inside its housing. And when it's flush, you're good to go. I think we're good there. And it should slip right back over, guys. Fix it up, there we go. line up the little piston holes. All right, I'm using my regular wrench to get it kind of snug. And then we're going to use the torque wrench to torque it down to 30 foot-pounds. And if you don't have one, a torque wrench isn't too expensive. It's a Harbor Freight deal. It's lasted me. This cost me 70 bucks or something. It's pretty close to 30 pounds. And that's it, guys. We finished. That's it. Real time. What was it, 8 minutes? All right, let's put the wheel on. Go for a ride. The only difference is if you're doing the rear brakes, you got to put it in service mode. Make sure the e-brake's not on, because a little clamp back there, you can't get the this guy off. But that's a video for another time. And then if we have the car long enough, I'll do the rotors too. I do the rotors every other time I do the brake pads. And they're in good shape though. No scoring or gouging or anything. This thing's not corroded at all. 2.5 years. We've driven this thing in the snow too. Crazy. It's doing pretty good. All right, let me clean up here. All right, well, there you go. Honestly, to do both sides myself, about 25 minutes. If you're doing this for the first time, give yourself an hour, get everything ready and stuff. It's not too bad. I already drove it around, didn't die. Everything feels fine. As you can see, yeah, car swapped out. Biggest takeaways. Make sure you got a torque wrench. Those little clips aren't hard. Everywhere I saw, local to me, where I could buy them, they were all the same price, between $72 and $74 for ceramic. I prefer ceramic, less noisy, a little more brake dust, but they feel better to me. But yeah, make sure you got a 14mm torque wrench, jack stands, your unique lug lock, hammer, all the things you need will be down below. But not too bad, guys, not too bad at all. Super simple, straightforward. When I do the rears, I'll walk you through that. It's a little more involved, but not hard. I will be doing spark plugs soon. That's pretty much the only tune-up item is spark plugs, maybe coil packs. I might do that at 50,000 miles. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for today. Any questions, please put them below, and I will answer them as I get to them. So, cool, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. See you guys next time. Mark out.